Parks. We lead the Playfair for Parks Coalition. We are here today to tell the City Council and the Mayor that it's time to restore parks. I want to be clear. The Parks Department has not had its budget restored. We're looking for 700 positions, $79.8 million to restore the basic core responsibilities that the Parks Department is required to do for New Yorkers.
Yes!
We've seen libraries restored, we've seen culturals restored, now it's time for parks. We've got a lot of speakers today, so I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Shaker Christian.
How's everyone doing today? Everyone, I am Councilmember Shaker Krishnan, proudly the chair of our Parks Committee in the New York City Council, representing Jackson Heights and Elmhurst, Queens, where we have the least amount of green space in all of New York City. So I personally know, as does everyone here today, how important our parks are for our lives as New Yorkers, for our public health, for our mental health, for our well-being. Yet, let's take a step back for a second. We have seen over the last several years cuts and cuts and cuts to our Parks Department budget. We have seen over 700 positions lost because of these cuts over the past few years. We have seen the fact that our PEP officers, we have about 300 PEP officers for all of New York City. That is just 60 PEP officers per borough. We have seen wildfires across our city, yet this City Hall has cut from our forestry division. And our urban park rangers that stand with our families, with our children, that care for our parks, while they're being cut on the federal level, we have so few to take care of green spaces across our city. And what does that mean? When our parks are not invested in, you are not investing in the workers of our city. Is DC 37 in the house? Yeah! That's right, because we know that investing in our parks is investing in workers. That our parks budget is fundamentally a workers' budget. When we invest in our workers, it helps them uplift their lives, support their families, it supports our city. And our parks workers are the ones every day who are keeping our green spaces across the city clean, who are making sure that they are safe, who are making sure that they are welcome for anyone who steps into a park in New York City. If you care, Mayor Adams, about our parks budget, and I'm not talking just about words, about 1% running campaign promises that you have failed to keep year after year. If you care about public safety, if you care about our parks, if you care about our workers, then you will invest in our parks department. Instead of talking about cuts, we should be talking about more for our parks workers.
Yes.
Instead of facing cuts, we should be talking about funding for our playgrounds in our parks.
That's right.
Instead of facing cuts, we should be talking about improving the bathrooms in our parks.
That's right.
And fundamentally, instead of facing cuts, especially at this moment, when we know that our National Park Service is being decimated at the federal level, we should be talking about investing and supporting our parks workers.
Yes.
We want to do this work. Let's give it up for all of them. They care for our green spaces. And so I will just close by first of all saying thank you to every single organization, every worker who is here that cares for our green spaces. We are proud to fight by your side. My colleagues in the City Council, Speaker Adams, the Councilmember Narcisse, Councilmember Abreu, Councilmember Aviles, I know Councilmember Brewer is on the way too. This is a Parks Department, this is a City Council that cares deeply about our green spaces. And it's about time that we have a partner at City Hall that joins us too. Councilman Martin is here as well. So I will just close by saying, Mayor Adams, if you can't keep our parks safe, then you can't keep our streets safe. If you can't keep our parks clean, then you can't keep our streets clean. And if you can't keep our parks and our streets safe, and if you can't keep them clean, then I don't know how you deliver on your vision of public safety and making sure every New Yorker thrives in this city. Thank you all so much.
Councilmember, next up is council members our seats.
Good morning. Good afternoon at this time. I am so happy and delighted to be here. Our parks are the heart of our communities. As spring and summer approach, it is crucial that we ensure our parks are safe, clean, and accessible. After years of underfunding, we see bathroom closures, fires as seen in my district, beloved Marine Park, where my Marine Park people, and ball fields and disrepair. This cannot continue. While we have fought to restore funding for libraries and cultural institutions, the Parks Department has lost nearly 800 staffing lines. Shame. These positions ensure our parks are safe, provide programming and care for our trees and natural areas. Without them, we cannot have the thriving parks system New Yorkers deserve. I know my constituents want clean parks. I'm blessed to have Conservancy Parks and Marine Parks. So I'm fighting with you to get more green space. Definitely. We all deserve that. This is to restore. We need to restore the staffing that keeps our parks safe, clean, and maintain them. It's time to invest in our parks. Our parks are our backyards. We're just saying that. So many folks in New York City don't have no backyard. They live in an apartment. The parks are their backyards. Families deserve that. And we deserve safe area. And where else we can do it? In parks. Well-maintained playground and open, clean bathrooms. We cannot expect our parks to thrive when the staff who maintain them are stretched thin, too thin. DC 37 knows that for sure. Where's DC 37? Yeah. I have seen in the park wedding during the height of the pandemic, family reunion, birthday, every celebration you can imagine, we're in the park. These are well-paying union jobs that support middle-class families as well and ensure our parks remain clean, green, and safe. We cannot expect the Parks Department to protect our parks when it's missing over 700 staff members. It's impossible. Investing in our parks is investing in New Yorkers and our future. Our parks provide climate mitigation, cooling neighborhoods, and help manage flooding. This is what we talk environment. We are a threat more than ever. We see what's going on above in the White House. So we need the city to put together and make sure we protect our parks. Last year, we saw fires tearing through our parks, and we need the resources to protect them. We'll not rest until we restore the funding and the staffing necessary to ensure our parks are safe, clean, and accessible to all. So thank you, New Yorkers.
Thank you, Council Member. Next up is Council Member Ray.
What do we want? 1%. What do we want?
1%.
What do we want?
1%.
We are at a moment in our time that is critical. In order for us to get what we need to get the 1% for parks. Parks are the center of our communities. That's where we raise our children.
Yep.
That is where we walk our dogs. That is where we find peace with everything that's happening from the White House and the day-to-days that's impacting all of us. We know 700 employees is far too much.
Yes.
We need to make sure that our parks are run. We need to make sure that our parks are safe. Our PEP officers. Making sure that we have our workers, our horticulture workers maintaining our green spaces.
Yes.
Yeah. Our parks serve as a place for serving to fight against flooding and to mitigate the effects of what's happening with the environment. And so you have a partner to make sure that we're also cleaning up our parks. As the chair of the sanitation committee, we know how important these resources are to keeping our parks clean. So just know that you have a partner in the city council. Let's keep on fighting. And what do we want? 1%. What do we want? 1%. Let's go get it, everybody.
Next up is
One and all.
Councilmember Abile.
We're just laughing because, we say, what do we want? 1%. It's true, but I'm like, I want 5.
Yeah.
No, listen, what can I say? I'm Alexa Aviles, I'm council member in Brooklyn. Really proud again to stand with parks workers, with parkies, with our community. Listen, our parks are health and wellness, and we can't keep New York City safe if we don't invest in our parks, right? This is our health and wellness. Everything happens in parks. I'm so proud of the parks in our community, and honestly, there is Sunset Park, it's Coffee Park. We have so many amazing green spaces, and we have 4 people that try to keep acres of green space livable, clean. It is an impossible task. We must invest as a city. We must make sure that our parks have all the staffing that it requires because we depend on these spaces. It is time to stop shortchanging our park spaces. Stop shortchanging the workers that work so hard on a daily basis to maintain these spaces. These are the jewels of New York City. These are the lungs of New York City. These are our health and wellness spaces that are critical to just being a New Yorker. So thank you everyone for your work. Thank you DC 37. Let's get 1%. We know we need more. We'll start at 1%. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Marquez.
How's everyone feeling today? Are you fired up? All right, first I want to thank where's our chair? Christian, you want to sign? All right, let's give it up for Christian. Look, we have a mayor that every time he has a town hall or he's speaking publicly, he likes to show in the background that tourism is skyrocketing and that it's levels, pre-pandemic levels. So when a tourist from Europe, when a tourist from Asia or from South America come to our cities, where do they have their meals? In our public spaces, in our parks. After looking at the Statue of Liberty, they come to Rockefeller Park. What do? They give themselves time to breathe. However, these parks are a value and a message of what our city represents. So these tourists come and see dilapidated playgrounds. What do they think? Oh, New York City must not care for their kids. When they go to East River Park and see AstroTurf instead of 500 trees, what do they think? Oh, this city must not care about climate change. When they look at a park and they don't see any city workers maintaining those grounds, oh, this city doesn't care about working class community, doesn't care about union workers. Our parks is telling the city, telling the world what we care about, what we value. And so we are here today to make this budget a value statement, saying we care about our workers, we care about our public spaces, we care about climate change. And as a city council, as organizations from all across the city, we're coming together to say, give us 1%. That's the very least for all New Yorkers. I want to thank
outdoor voice. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Alia Sumro. I'm the Deputy Director for New York City Policy at the New York League of Conservation Voters. We're one of the co-founders of the Playfair for Parks Coalition. So despite the fact that our mayor committed to funding parks at 1% of the city budget 3 years ago, our city's Parks Department was the only agency that did not receive its full budget restorations last year. On top of this, decades of budget cuts have left our parks understaffed and underfunded. The lack of investment in our city's park system not only contradicts the mayor's campaign promise, but it also contradicts all the climate goals outlined in Plan NYC, the city's sustainability plan. We all know that parks foster livable and resilient communities. They create union jobs, they promote quality of life, and they mitigate the climate crisis that is currently underway. It's not a future threat, it's here. Last year, we were again reminded of the climate crisis when we witnessed, air quality alerts, wildfire smoke, extreme heat, the list goes on. Our city cannot afford to disinvest in our city's park system or its parks workers or from proven climate solutions. Parks are critical infrastructure, and we need the staffing and the maintenance and the funding to put that into our park system. That's why we stand with all the council members today and fellow parks advocates, all the parks workers, calling on the mayor to invest at least $80 million in the Parks Department. At least. Hopefully we can get to that 1%. If the mayor wants to make good on his campaign promise, now is the time. We're all watching. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Morgan Monaco, and I am the president of the Prospect Park Alliance. We are the nonprofit that helps to take care of Brooklyn's backyard, beautiful Prospect Park. I'm also proud to co-chair the Parks and Open Spaces Partners Coalition, along with my colleague Lynn Kelly, who you'll hear from. We represent more than 50 different nonprofit organizations dedicated to stewarding and programming New York City's green and open spaces. And together, we all share a vision of an equitable and resilient park system for all New Yorkers. For over 40 years, park conservancies and friends of groups like the Alliance have worked alongside of NYC Parks to steward all of the city's green parks and spaces. However, most of our organizations, and many people don't know this, most of our organizations rely on the city for trash management and basic maintenance, underlying the need for adequate and stable public funding to ensure our parks thrive. The urgent need to invest in our parks and public spaces cannot be overstated in the face of climate change and devastating effects. This is not theoretical. This is not something that's happening way out in the future, as Alia just said. This is happening right now in our city and in my park. In my first 2 years as president at the Alliance, we've seen a fire caused by severe drought, as well as extreme flash flooding from a severe storm. Both of these disasters highlight the vulnerability of our city's treasured green spaces, and parks play a crucial role in building climate resilience, yet they continue to be underfunded. As you heard earlier, during the pandemic, our parks served as a lifeline for New Yorkers, providing safe spaces to socialize, exercise, and connect with nature. Today, their importance has only grown. They are essential hubs for celebration and community building. They make life livable. Now, more than ever, we need free, democratic spaces where people can feel safe and find a sense of belonging. And this is not just touchy-feely jargon because I'm a parks person. We recently completed a user study in Prospect Park and asked people about their sense of community when they were there. Nearly 70% of all respondents said they have important needs met because they are part of this park community. And despite all of the benefits I just rattled off, the Parks Department continues to operate under an austerity budget. Underfunding our parks not only threatens the health and vitality of our city, but also endangers the livelihoods of hundreds of workers, many of whom are here today, who care for them. You will never find more passion and care than with the people who maintain our parks, day in and day out. It's time to invest in our parks and the people who sustain them. I urge us not to be fooled by rhetoric that we just can't afford it. The city is facing an affordability crisis. That is true. But, as my colleague Lynn Kelly said recently, what's more affordable than free, open spaces that provide essential services for New Yorkers to thrive? We need to stop framing parks as luxuries. They are essential for promoting environmental and social resilience and part of what makes New York City the greatest city in the world. All right, thank you.
Next up, we'll hear from Joe Booner, DC 37.
park rangers, the PEP officers, the associate park service workers, and the city seasonal aides. Today I am very angry. I am angry because we are at our lowest numbers ever, and we have a mayor who promised us more and we got less, right? I'm tired of watching national news. I'm talking about not local, but national news, talking about crime in this city, parks, right? There were people are being assaulted, robbed, raped during daylight hours. This is unacceptable. We need our PEP officers. Our PEP officers are a front line of defense. Although the NYPD does a great job, they are reactive to parks. They are not proactive like our PEP officers are. We need to restore 300 of them immediately. Not next week, not next month. We need our parks safe. We need our parks clean, right? Our CSA count has dropped. From a person who promised us 1%, we got a lot of zeros, not ones. We're not even asking for the ones. We're asking for the numbers to be sustained, right? He came in as a friend. Well, friends don't abandon our green space. Friends deliver on their promises. Thank you.
Every year, they expect us to do more with less. We come back here every year to fight. And I want to thank the Pay Fair Coalition, DC 37 that's in the house. But we need more workers. My people, when you're walking to the parks, when you come down the stairs, they're the ones that's shoveling the snow, cleaning the lawns, dumping the garbage, maintaining the pools, maintaining the bathrooms. We need more workers. And the only thing I have to say is that every year we have to come back and beg for them to fund us. And I don't think that's right. So all I'm asking is that we get our 1% funding so we can get more workers to make our parks more beautiful than what they are right now. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. And Mayor Adams, give us our money.
Emily Walker here. There she is.
Walker. I'm the Senior Manager of External Affairs at the Natural Areas Conservancy. Thank you to New Yorkers for Parks for organizing this event today. The Natural Areas Conservancy is New York City's advocate for our 12,000 acres of natural areas. It's fully 1/3 of our park system. We are a proud member of the Playfair for Parks Coalition and the Forest for All NYC Coalition. And we are here today to demand that Mayor Adams restore and baseline $5 million in funding for our natural areas. Forests and wetlands make up 1/3 of our park system, and yet, last year we lost 80% of the staff to care for these spaces.
Shameful!
Shame! Our natural areas contain 5 million of New York City's 7 million trees. 5 million of them. They absorb 22% of New York City's stormwater, 70% of the city's carbon. We are not caring for these spaces the way they are caring for us. We are deeply disappointed that the funds are not restored. With just $5 million, we could have 76 staff to do forest management and trails management to ensure there are 300 miles of nature trails are safe for public access and that our forests are less vulnerable to climate shocks and brush fires, which we saw hundreds of last fall. We know that DC is not coming to save us in this regard. The mayor and the city council have got to step up and take a real leadership position. We also think that this is essential this year. New York City is required by law to meet a 30% canopy target for New York City per local law 148. We are not meeting that moment with the FY26 preliminary budget. Park advocates have waited, honestly, decades to see actual investments from our decision makers in our parks and natural areas. So we stand in solidarity with our colleagues here today. Thank you to our parks workers for the work that you do.
Next up is Bismarck and Josiah from the Highline Team Program.
Oh yeah, park workers, are you ready to make some noise tonight? I'm Bismarck, I'm a Highline Fellow, and I see a crowd that knows what's up. We're here because the parks are the
heart of this city. Yes. We're here because we have moments with these parks. We shared laughter and we shared blooming moments with these parks, and we are here to fight for those, for that idea. We're going to City Hall to fight for that idea because the parks are giving us so much. It's our turn to help these parks and protect what we have and give more funding to the parks that are giving us so much.
Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Josiah. I'm so happy and excited to be here today with you all. I want to share a few words of my testimony. Parks provide a peaceful environment that support mental well-being, offering people a place to relax and enjoy ourselves. Green spaces also can provide better air quality and reduce pollution. Investing in parks is not just about investing in its beauty, it's about making our city healthier, safer, and stronger for everyone. So if you love parks just as much as I do, I hear you say, yeah! Yeah!
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sarah McCollum Williams. I'm the executive director of Green Gorillas. I'm here today because community gardens are not a luxury. They're a necessity. Community gardens feed our neighbors, cool our streets, absorb floodwaters, and bring people together. These green spaces are about food justice, climate action, and community power. Despite all that they provide, our community gardens are underfunded and at risk. The city has not passed strong policies to permanently protect our gardens. And today, much needed funding is frozen, delayed, or ignored. This is unacceptable. We are calling on the City Council and the Mayor to act now. Right now, Green Thumb's budget is hanging by a thread, and critical USDA funding for water systems is on hold indefinitely. This is not just about gardens. This is about the future of our neighborhoods and our health. That's why we're standing here today. We're not asking, we're demanding that the Mayor and City Council fully fund Green Thumb, invest in infrastructure and workforce development for our youth, and permanently protect our community gardens. 1% for parks is the bare minimum. Our communities deserve better. We will not let community gardens be ignored. We will not let them disappear. And we will not stop fighting until every garden is protected, funded, and thriving. Thank you so much.
I'm just here like everybody else to say how much we love our parks. I'm very partial to Riverside Park, but I love all parks. I want to say that it's not just 1%, it's also the staffing that goes with it so that it can be year-round and not just during the summer. It's all of the gardens, it's all of the composting. Now we have to do composting, it's all of the composting that needs to go with it. If you can't talk about equity, I don't want to hear that word, unless you're talking about fully funding the parks. There's nothing that demands equity more than fully funding the park. I'm just here, going back up to the hearing. I want to know, you just know that I'm very supportive. I put as much money, your money, into the parks as I possibly can, but we can't do it alone. And parks are also the place, not just for recreation, but for sports. The schools in Manhattan anyway, very few have any outdoor space. And so the park becomes that in addition. And so there's an endless list of what the parks provide. And every single bit of it has to be funded. Thank you very much.
Almost done here. Next up is Karen Burbaum from Riverside Park.
Thank you, Councilmember Brewer. And thank you to everyone here from Riverside Park. All right, we are here today because our colleagues from the Parks Department could not be here because what they can. We work alongside our workers in the Parks Department every day. We are not here to ask for overhead or fancy equipment or even pay raises. We are here to ask for people, for parkies, for people who used to be funded. These are positions that were in the budget before. We are not asking for anything new. We are asking for the city to put back positions that already existed that we have been fighting for year after year. And these positions need to be baseline. These are 795 good union jobs that support our city, that support our parks, that make them clean, green, and safe. And Riverside Park depends on these positions. And exactly what you've heard before, it's not just about the summertime, it's not just about making parks pretty, it is about the lifeblood of what keeps our parks alive, sustainable, clean, safe. These people are critical, they are needed, they were here before, we need them back, we need them now. This is the year that our city can make a real difference. We keep talking about how people are leaving the city. The city needs to be livable. What makes a livable city? Parks! What do we need? Parks Power NYC! Parks Power NYC! Thank you, everyone. We're gonna get it!
Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Look at this crowd.
We need to restore the budget. We need the mayor to recognize that the budget is not restored, and we need the council to fight for this budget.
Yeah.
Parks Power NYC, one more time.